We come from a very like long-standing franchise with very familiar faces. I feel like they would need a few. I understand them wanting to do a little like mix up because it's time, obviously.
Virtual reality.
All right, Melissa Gorga, Danny and I are so excited to chat because we have something very exciting to talk about. You just launched Sprinkle Cookies by Melissa Gorga, and we hear it's off to a great start already. How are you feeling?
I feel so good. Like, who knew? I mean, everyone knows that I've always had like this iconic love of sprinkle cookies, right? And it's just always been a thing. And they've always been like my cookie of choice. But to think that I launched this, and it was very important to me to launch it before Christmas because it has such a cookies go with Christmas, right? It's such a cookie vibe. And I really wanted to get it in everyone's homes in time for the holidays, in time for, you know, New Year's Eve and all of that. So I am completely like in shock over the response and how much everyone loves them and is tasting them and loves them. I've had such great like response from so many of the housewives and some of the girls out there, so it's been great.
Well, I know you're saying you're shocked by the response of this. I'm not at all because like you have been, I mean, Sprinkle Cookies and you, a decade plus love affair. And now, because right now, like we were kind of talking before, everyone like, they're like, I just want to hang out with Melissa. I miss seeing her and everything. So now she can come to the holidays with you. Which is, so it's like the perfect timing for you to bring this to life as well.
Right, thank you. Yeah, it's been amazing. And I'm like, you know, we're not just doing the Christmas cookies. We're also doing, I have them right now for baby showers. We're doing the pink and the blue for your, you know, your gender reveals and your baby showers. And we're also coming out with like, very soon there'll be a sprinkle coffee cake. And we're going to be expanding that way. So I'm very excited. Lots of sprinkle. You know what? Sprinkles make people happy, guys. Like, don't you just like feel good when you, like, I don't know. It's a feel-good cookie.
Full elation right now. But I kind of want to go back. You were saying that sprinkle cookies have been your favorite cookie forever. Tell us more about your relationship with sprinkle cookies. Was this kind of like since you were a little girl that this was always your cookie?
Yes, you know when you go into the bakery and you look in the cases, and I always wanted like the big one. It's usually like those huge ones with all like the sprinkles and that. It was just always what I chose. And so obviously, yes, I chose those to bring to Christmas Eve as well and all the things. And I've just been known now to be a lover of sprinkle cookies. And it's so funny, everywhere we go, even when we go to like Dolores's baseball event that we do, they hold up signs, Team Sprinkle, like, yes. And, you know, it took me a minute because obviously there's envy, right? Like I put all my heart and soul into envy. I work a lot with that. But, you know, Bravo put us on a little pause, and it gave me a lot of time to eat cookies and remember my love of cookies. So it's just perfect timing.
I know.
Honestly.
And I love that you are, because like you said, Bravo put on a little pause. I love that you are not pausing yourself, though, because it's like you're staying busy, you're staying active. And I feel like even because we were just talking with Dolores, too, and she's like, this is not going to be a pause. Everyone wants us back. Like, no one wants a world without all of you on our screens. And we agree. So I think the pause is going to be lifted soon, in my opinion.
I mean, listen, I was hoping like after the New Year is when we will hear. I think we'll definitely hear something right at the beginning or like, you know, right into fresh into the new year. But I think Dolores is right. They miss us. I think this was a great, like everyone's just like, you know, going crazy. It's overwhelming how and amazing. I'm so grateful for the response on this. Like it's been, you know, they miss us because they're just like, give me that cookie and give it to me now. Like, and they're like, it's insane. So that makes me happy that I'm going to be in everyone's like home for the holidays. I'm very happy about that.
Bethany Frankel.
Yes. Well, and like you said, you've been getting a lot of love.
She's been so funny.
Yeah. Tell us about your response to Bethany's response to the cookies, because I was almost shocked that you sent them to her because she can be brutal and she can be honest.
I know. And do you know my sister said like, are you sure? Like, she is going to be brutally honest. And I'm like, I know that I have the best butter sprinkle cookies she's ever going to try. And I felt 100% confident. I sent them over like the next day. Like the second they were ready and the packaging was ready, I was like, off you go. I was dying to see what she had to say. And I would have took, you know, constructive criticism, but I knew, I mean, they're never frozen. They're real butter. They're from an Italian, you know, real Italian bakery, real butter cookies, there's a hint of almond in them. We have real almond paste. So they're just awesome. They're great. And they're my, you know, my recipe for the butter sprinkle cookie that I wanted with a little twist. So you can tell they're a little different, and it's because it's it's the Melissa sprinkle cookie.
And that's the thing with a Bethany review. She's like a full documentarian. Like she is going for details.
Oh my God, she noticed that my ribbon had my name on it. Oh my God, she went in. She liked the dividers in my boxes. She loved the crunch of my sprinkle, which I thought was great. And it's true, like I have crunchy sprinkles. So that's, she noticed, and they're soft. They're soft cookies, so.
Obsessed.
That was the funny thing, because I was like, because I was like, oh yeah, there are dividers. Like she made me realize things that I wouldn't even think to realize.
Because obviously she does know what she's talking about when it comes to packaging and things like that. So I was very happy with her review.
That must have felt really good to hear that from Bethany, because I love the windows in some of the boxes that you have where you can like see the cookie and you can just like start drooling right away.
Yeah, so that you can see them and they're like great and they're very Instagrammable. You can see the cookies through the window. So it's exciting,
And then Gina and Fessler also gave you some love too. Which
oh my gosh,
yes,
so many. I think Larsa, Chriselle from Selling Sunset, so many. I think Gertie posted a ton. Margaret, everybody, Rachel Fuda, Jen Fessler, of course all my girls have, said something nice. Everybody. I feel like just everyone has shown such support, and I'm so grateful.
Wait, and I love, because like we said, you're going to be at Bethany's house for the holidays via cookies, but on a recent podcast episode, it seems like she was almost like shipping y'all's kids. Like she might want you guys to join holidays together.
Oh my gosh. So there's a funny story about that. We actually went to go to the opening night of Elf, the musical. So we were there. Her and her daughter happened to be seated right in front of us. So it was Joe and I and our two boys. And we were talking the whole time, and she kept turning around, and she was so funny. She did like a whole like TikTok on like, oh my God, the boys look like they came they're like muscular, and they got the gold chains, and she was just like, she just thought we were amusing the whole time. I was like listening to her, and she was, she was very sweet. Her daughter was very sweet. Joey was like talking to her daughter a little bit. We were all like talking. So it was funny. And she was kind of just like, I'm having FOMO. I want to have Christmas with the Gorgas now.
Yeah. When y'all vibed, like, had y'all ever vibed like that prior to running into each other at the musical?
I had one other like I'll never forget. I performed at the very first like BravoCon when it was like Bravo. It was called something else at the time. It wasn't BravoCon. They were like these. Front
like an award show?
It was an upfront.
Okay.
And they used to, NBC used to do these huge upfronts. So they had me perform on display at their very first one. So I performed, and when I went in the back, she was sitting back there, and she was like, that was like real. She was like, that was like really good. Like I'm in shock like that. So that was, so she's always been, she's always been very supportive, and I appreciate her for that. Because I know she's real. She doesn't care. She'll say the truth. So that's why a compliment is nice,
Wow, yeah, from on display to the sprinkle cookies. I feel you've had so many iconic moments on the show, Melissa Gorga, and obviously sprinkle cookies was a really big one for you. When you sent those sprinkle cookies so many years ago, did you ever think that it would turn into the enduring legacy it has evolved into, where you can launch a brand like this and get Bethany Frankel excited about it?
I know. I really didn't realize that it would. I don't think Bravo realized. I mean, to this day, there hasn't been a Christmas that has gone by that I don't get 1,000 DMs showing me that they're picking the sprinkle cookie, or that someone brought them the sprinkle. It's just been such a thing. It never died, and it clearly hasn't died because of the way that the reception is to all of this. So I just think it's cute. I think it's fun. I think people are in the mood to have like fun and like feel good. I think it's nostalgic, right? It's very nostalgic for a lot of people. They did watch my children grow up on TV. I mean, another scene for Christmas that everyone goes crazy over all the time, and they'll keep sending me Antonia asking, how old is Jesus? And I'm like, oh, he's 98 this year. And so like every year, everyone will be like, how old's Jesus this year?
Wait, how old is he this year then?
I mean, he should be around like 116.
Okay, cute. cute. All
right?
So,
Like, or 113 maybe. He's doing well.
Yeah, you'll have to send him some sprinkle cookies for his birthday.
I know. You know that these will be out in front of my tree, right? Yeah, of course.
Also great for Santa if he needs you know, instead of chocolate chip. This is exciting.
Of course. This will be, you know, this will be for Santa in front of my tree 1000%. There'll be sprinkle cookies everywhere. I make even, you know, I host Christmas Eve and I make sprinkle cookie cocktails.
What is
I
that?
just go, oh my God, they're so good.
Ooh.
It's like Bailey's. It's a little like, you know, has a little dairy in it, but they're very good. I think it's like Frangelica. I have a whole vodka. Shake it nice. You put a little like icing on the rim, right? And you zip right into the sprinkles.
Oh,
they're so
lovely.
cute. You know that's happening this year at my house again.
When did you start this?
So it's been about a year and a half.
Wow. Oh my God.
oh.
Oh my God, yeah. So a year and a half that I've always had it in the back of my mind, to be honest, but I'm always extremely busy. Let's not forget, I also have 3 kids.
Yeah.
I'm very hands-on with my children. They all play sports. They're busy, you know, plus I have Envy, and the reality show has always been a big part of everything. So I had been looking for the perfect baker to bake it for me, and obviously I'm not in my house, like, you know, but I was looking for the perfect situation. And it's funny, he's actually a friend also of Lisa Barlow's. Lisa Barlow knows the family as well. So fixing the hair. So it's been great. It's been actually great. And now when I found him, it was just the perfect situation, and it just worked, and I loved everything about it. We created this amazing cookie together, and I'm very happy.
A little love at first bite.
Yeah.
That was so fun.
I was telling you I love the color of the sprinkles on the cookie. It's different than your traditional situation. How did you figure out this mix of colors?
So what's happening here is there's the traditional like primary color sprinkle, and then there's another version of it that's a little lighter. So you're seeing the primary plus the lighter color sprinkle, and that's why you're getting kind of like my own little mix of sprinkle color. So you like?
Yes,
I
want that. Like a
love.
nice
You know I'm
sandwich.
gonna create a pride cookie, right?
Oh,
please.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, okay.
Like,
An on display pride cookie, yes.
oh my God, it's gonna be the on display pride cookie.
I need you marshaling
yeah.
the Pride Parade, singing on display, handing
Throwing
out rainbow
cookies at everyone.
Like that is,
Wait a
that's
second.
my Christmas wish.
Oh my gosh, is it? Okay,
Yeah.
but they're gonna be bite-sized cookies
Oh,
probably that we
right.
can just like chomp chomp.
Everyone
love
will be in
that,
Speedos.
yes.
That's for pride, yeah.
Yeah.
We
Yes, yes, you'll be able to pop them in your pockets.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna do all of that. I'm also coming out with a new box for Valentine's Day, and there'll be a whole
cute.
Valentine's Day cookie as well. So
I mean, you've always been a mogul, but Melissa is moguling, and you're really entering 2025 like with a full business plan.
yes,
So-
I am. You know what? I think that I get overshadowed sometimes. Like everyone knows me from the Housewives, right?
Right.
And that's very normal, and I get it. But I am actually a really, really like hard worker. I've been since I was a young girl. I've always had 3 jobs. When Joe met me, I had 3 jobs. I've always been very ambitious in that way. And I think now having Antonia at this point in life too, where she's kind of starting to have talks about being a sophomore in college, like, what do I want to do? What do I want to be? And I love showing her that like I put my heart and soul into my businesses, and I build them from the ground up, and they're very Melissa. Like I don't put stuff into other people's hands and say, here, like I want to do this. I'm going to sign my name. Like that does not happen with anything I do. So that is important to me to show her too, and she sees that. Listen, I would love if, you know, Sprinkle by MG was something that went on for Antonia as well, and we can expand together. I said to her the other day when she kind of saw like how well they were doing, she's like, my God, Mom, everyone's like going nuts over these sprinkle cookies. And I was like, so put your little thinking cap on, like what can you do to expand this, and what little twist can you put on to what your mother has created?
I love that.
No, but like
you're doing the own Shark Tank at the Gorga house.
I'm like, no, I just said like, I don't know, Tonya, this is like, you know, it's like, think maybe what you can do to make it better, right? What can you contribute?
Well, you've created something so beautifully done, and obviously you've put your heart and soul into it. We are curious just to get your thoughts on the "You're welcome" tweet.
Oh my gosh, I know. I mean, did we expect anything different? It's like when they go low, we go high. That's my reaction to that. I mean, it was expected. You know, I mean, come on, it's expected.
What I also want, because you and Joe Gorga, because I live in Jersey too, and I don't know if this is all you guys are talking about, My mom calls me 3 times a day to ask me about the drones.
Oh my God.
Have you guys been discussing, like, what is going on with the drones?
Yes, we are discussing the drones, and I want to understand why no one has told us what they are yet.
Do you have theories? Have you seen any?
Yes. Oh, yes, I have. I've had my daughter and my son run into my room and say, like, what is this? Like, what's happening?
It's
and
spooky.
I really don't know. My guess is as good as yours. I really have no idea.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh, your friend Bethany was making me nervous on TikTok because after I was like, Melissa Gorga review, Harry Hamlin has bad sauce. She's talking to the Pentagon. Like, how is Bethany Frankel talking to the Pentagon?
She gets in there.
She does.
And I do feel like she probably drove to the Pentagon to ask them.
I'm dead. It is so funny. I mean, I didn't hear that yet. Whatever she said, I didn't hear it. But it is a little scary, guys.
Yes.
Like, what is happening?
Well, Danny and I
And
were
why
joking.
is it why is it in New Jersey?
They're obsessed. They want you guys off.
I
They
mean,
miss
they're
you too.
so mad that we're on a pause.
Exactly.
They're freaking out. Right? It's like.
See, now even the government or the aliens or whoever it is getting involved. Actually, it's so funny. We were just talking to Dolores, and I asked her about the potential of a reboot with an all-new cast and if she thought the fans would embrace it. She was like, the fans would absolutely not embrace that. What are your thoughts on Bravo potentially going that route? Because they're doing that with Vanderpump now. They did it with RHONJ.
Right. I think that they would want, especially, we come from a very long-standing franchise with very familiar faces. I feel like they would need a few. I understand them wanting to do a little mix up because it's time, obviously. But I think they would need to keep a few familiar faces. And, that's on by. I don't know who or what they decide, but I would suggest they kept a few familiar faces, or it's just, I think it would be very tricky.
Yeah, I feel especially in Jersey too, because it's like such a, you watch the ladies and their family, like you're so connected and invested with everybody, and you're like, I don't want change.
You're like, who's Susie Q? Yeah. And who's this sister of hers? And who's this? Like, I don't know who these guys know. That's like what happens.
There's too many exits on the turnpike. We can't go more places. Yeah.
Yes. And it's like, a lot of us are still young and in our prime and ready to go.
And
so
starting so many new things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh yeah. That is I feel like I've been more busy since we've been put on a pause than I've ever been in my life. I'm like, I haven't stopped since. So maybe it was a slightly good thing just because it gave me a little time to focus and think and be like, okay, you have to realize the show. Listen, I've been on this TV show for 14 years. I mean, Joey's 14. So it's like that. I always go by how old Joey is because we were at his christening when he was 2 months old. Yeah. So, I don't know. You can't do everything forever. Right. It's kind of like when one door opens, another door. When one door closes, another one opens. We really don't know. This is not me foreshadowing. My guess is as good as everyone out there and as good as yours. I really don't know. Of course, we all have our little things in our head where I'm like, maybe they're going to do this or maybe they're going to do that. But we really don't know. We have no idea.
Do you have an ideal scenario of how it would play out?
I really don't. I can see it going a couple different ways, honestly. I can understand this, I can understand that, and I can understand that, so.
It's insane when you say 14 years, I'm like, you're on TV longer than you are. Like George Clooney was what's happening?
I know, it's crazy. It's been a really good run and a really long time. And it's people have watched my children grow up, everywhere. People know them as well. They have, obviously Joe is a huge, piece of that show, and the men love watching for him, and just so it's very nostalgic for a lot of people. Yeah. So, especially the holiday time, because we used to always film around the holidays.
New Jersey Housewives feels like Christmas.
Yes. So I'm here to give you a little Christmas.
Yes. And for everyone who wants to feel that Christmas, where can they go to order some cookies by Melissa Gorga?
SprinkleByMG.com.
Oh,
I love it.
Yes, yes. And my dress is from EnvyByMG.com. Okay. So you can get yourself a cookie and a dress.
The full Missy G experience.
The full holiday party has arrived.
I'm going to give you the dress and the cookie, okay? And the perfect hostess gift. So there you go.
Okay.
You're welcome. Now I just got to come up with a Christmas song. Right?
Please.
Wait,
your face.
Wait, cookies on display, like a holiday remix.
Oh my God.
You have less than a week to write it.
Oh, dear Lord.
Just add cookies. just cookies.
How quickly can I get? You know.
ChatGPT.
Yes.
Right, exactly.
Exactly. I guarantee if I say that, I'm gonna text you guys the most beautiful song later.
And we'll be at the Grammys with you next year.
Thank you.
So, yeah, backup singers, everything.
I'm gonna owe it all to you for giving me the idea, so you will be with me everywhere I go.
I take payment by cookies.
Okay, good.